Unit 3. Procedures for obtaining visa, permanent residence permit and citizenship. This unit is designed to introduce you the procedures and conditions for obtaining visa, permanent residence permit and Slovenian citizenship. After acquiring knowledge from this unit, you will be equipped to teach future FDI advisors to pass the information on procedures of obtaining visa, permanent residence permit and Slovenian citizenship to foreign investors. Citizens of the EEA member states and Swiss Confederation may enter the Republic of Slovenia with a valid identity card or passport and do not need an entry permit, visa, or residence permit, regardless of the reason for entry or residence in the Republic of Slovenia, including reasons such as employment, study, self-employment or residence. A third country national who wishes to enter and reside in the Republic of Slovenia for tourist, business, personal or other purposes must obtain a visa at the diplomatic mission or consulate of the Republic of Slovenia before entering the country unless he comes from one of the countries for which a visa is not needed. The list of countries is available on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website, or if they have one of the following permits. A holder of a C-type visa issued by one of the contracting states parties to the Convention implementing the Schengen Agreement may enter the Republic of Slovenia during the period of validity of the visa and reside there, if the total duration of his stay in the contracting states does not exceed 90 days during a specified period of 180 days, or until the expiry of the visa, if this occurs before the end of the 90-day period. A holder of a residence permit issued by one of the contracting states parties to the Convention implementing the Schengen Agreement may enter the Republic of Slovenia with a residence permit and a valid passport and remain in the country if the total duration of his stay in the territory of all contracting states, excluding the territory of the contracting state which has issued the residence permit, shall not exceed 90 days within a specified 180-day period or until the expiry of the residence permit if this occurs before the end of the 90-day period. A holder of a long-stay visa, Type D, issued by one of the contracting states parties to the Convention implementing the Schengen Agreement may enter the Republic of Slovenia with a visa and valid passport and remain in the country if the total duration of his stay in the territory of all countries except in the territory of the contracting states which has issued the residence permit, shall not exceed 90 days within a specified 180-day period or until the expiry of the residence permit if this occurs before the end of the 90-day period. Types of visas are the following. 1. Airport transit visa, Visa A. 2. Short stay visa, Visa C, can be acquired for tourist, business, personal or other purposes. 3. Long stay visa, Visa D, can be acquired for family members of a EU citizen or Slovenian national, for the purposes of family reunion. Diplomats, administrative or technical staff and their family members. Participants in courses or other forms of education, for a period from 3 months to 1 year at the most. Foreign students and employees in higher education. Sports trainers, professional athletes or private sports operators aiming to conclude an employment or work contract with a club or sports organization with head office in the Republic of Slovenia. Foreign media reporters or correspondents. Priests and other persons in clerical profession from registered religious communities. Procedure. Visas are issued by diplomatic missions or consular officers of the Republic of Slovenia abroad. They can be issued by the diplomatic mission or consular office of another country with which the Republic of Slovenia has signed a visa issuing agreement. An application for a visa is submitted on the prescribed form up to 3 months prior to the intended travel. In the case that foreign nationals have collective travel document, for example mother and child, each of them shall apply for a visa on a separate form. Exceptionally, a visa may be issued by the authorities competent to monitor the border crossing, if the foreigner was not able to pre-apply for a visa at a diplomatic mission or consular office of the Republic of Slovenia. In that case the foreigner needs to present documents proving an predictable and unavoidable reason for entering the Republic of Slovenia. Documentation needed. For obtaining a visa, application form and supporting documents need to be presented. Supporting documents for short-stay visa, Visa C, application should contain evidence of the purpose of intended journey, for business visit invitation of the company, ticket, etc. proof of accommodation, proof of health insurance, proof of sufficient funds for the duration of the stay and for return to the domestic country, proof of intent to leave the territory of the EU member states before the expiry of the visa you applied for, return ticket, proof of employment, etc. Supporting documents for long-stay visa, Visa D, application should contain a valid travel document, travel health insurance covering at least urgent health services in the Republic of Slovenia, proof of sufficient monthly means, at least equal to the basic minimal income in Slovenia. Individual need to justify one of the purposes necessary for issuing Visa D. Time frame. Visa application should be filed at least 15 calendar days before entering the country. An application filed less than 15 calendar days before the intended departure may be accepted, but there is no guarantee that the final decision will be made before the intended date of departure. A visa cannot be filed earlier than 3 months before entering a country. Where to apply? Individuals are required to obtain a visa at a diplomatic or consular representation of the Republic of Slovenia abroad, prior to entering Slovenia. Fees. The application form is free of charge. Taxes of the procedure depend on the diplomatic missions or consular offices of the Republic of Slovenia abroad. A foreigner who wishes to reside in the Republic of Slovenia for a longer period of time than is possible on the basis of a visa, or who wishes to enter and reside in the Republic of Slovenia for reasons other than that on the basis of a visa, must have a residence permit. A residence permit means an authorization to enter the Republic of Slovenia and stay for a fixed period of time and for a specific purpose or for permanent residence. A temporary residence permit is issued for a specific purpose and for a fixed period of time. A permanent residence permit is issued without restrictions on the duration and purpose of staying in the Republic of Slovenia. Conditions. Permanent resident permit can be acquired if the individual has legally been staying in Slovenia, on the basis of temporary residence permit, for the last 5 years. If their absences were shorter than 6 months and, if combined, they did not exceed 10 months in a 5-year period. The individual holds a EU blue card and has been residing in the EU continuously and legally for 5 years, and only in Slovenia for the last 2 years before applying. Before the expiry of the 5-year period, if other conditions are fulfilled, permanent residence can be issued to a foreigner of Slovenian origin. A foreigner whose residence in Slovenia is in the interest of the Republic of Slovenia. A family member of an EEA citizen possessing a valid permanent residence permit in Slovenia, and a family member of a Slovenian citizen. A foreigner who used to have a permanent residence permit in Slovenia but it expired. Procedure. The process in most cases begins at the Embassy of Slovenia in the country of foreigner's residence. Step 1. Obtaining temporary residence and work permit. The temporary residence permit can be obtained on the basis of work, study, family relations or other reasons. Please see Unit 6.1 and 6.2. Step 2. Renewing temporary permit. Temporary permits are usually valid for 1 year and must be renewed prior to expiration date at the local administrative unit. Keep in mind that here are no requirements to speak Slovene or to demonstrate knowledge of the history and/or culture in order to obtain a temporary residence permit. Step 3. Application for permanent residence permit. After 5 years of living in Slovenia on a basis of temporary residence permit, foreigner has the right to apply for permanent residency. In 8 days after obtaining permanent residence in Slovenia, a person must register himself on a permanent address in administrative unit. After obtaining a permanent residence permit in Slovenia, foreigner have the same rights as a citizen of Slovenia, but he can't obtain real estate as a natural person and he doesn't have the right to vote. Where to apply? The application for a permanent residence permit must be submitted at an administrative unit in the area of individual's residence. Slovenian citizenship may be acquired by a foreigner if at least one of his parents is a Slovenian citizen. By birth, if the parents are unknown or have no citizenship or if their nationality is unknown. If he fulfills the conditions and applies for citizenship, the procedure is called naturalization. Conditions. Reach the age of 18. Lost previous citizenship. Actual residence in Slovenia for 10 years, of which uninterruptedly for the last 5 years before the application was submitted and the status of a foreigner was regulated. Guaranteed means of subsistence in the amount of basic minimum income. Mastering the Slovenian language for the needs of everyday communication. The person applying has not been sentenced to an unconditional imprisonment sentence of more than 3 months, or that a conditional sentence has not been convicted to a prison sentence with a probationary period of more than 1 year. That no prohibition on residence in Slovenia was imposed on the person. The admission of a person to citizenship does not pose a threat to the public order, security or defense of the state. The candidate settled his tax liabilities. Oath of respect for the free democratic constitutional order. Certain categories of persons have facilitated conditions. Slovenian emigrants and their descendants up to the 4th generation, 1 year of actual residence in Slovenia, without the condition of dismissal from previous citizenship. Persons who already had Slovene citizenship but lost it on the basis of dismissal or relinquishing, 6 months of actual residence in Slovenia, without the condition of dismissal from previous citizenship. Persons married to a Slovenian citizen, 1 year of actual residence in Slovenia, at least 3 years of marriage, possible retraction of the conditions of dismissal and residence. Persons born in Slovenia and living in Slovenia all their lives, without the conditions of dismissal from previous citizenship, secured means for subsistence and mastery of the Slovene language. Persons under international protection, 5 years of actual residence in Slovenia, without the condition of dismissal from previous citizenship. Stateless persons, 5 years of actual residence in Slovenia, without the condition of dismissal from previous citizenship. Persons who successfully completed at least a higher education program in Slovenia, 7 years of actual residence in Slovenia, of which 1 year continuously before the application was submitted. Special conditions also apply to minors. If the father and mother obtain Slovenian citizenship by naturalization, their minor child also obtains at their request. If one of the parents obtains Slovenian citizenship by naturalization, his or her minor child also obtains if this parent asks for it, and if the child lives with him/her for at least 1 year continuously before applying and has the regulated status of a foreigner. If a child born in Slovenia has not completed 1 year of age, he/she obtains Slovenian citizenship at the request of his/her parent who has obtained Slovenian citizenship through naturalization. If one of the parents obtains Slovenian citizenship after an extraordinary naturalization for state reasons, his minor child can also obtain it if the parent asks for this. A child who does not have parents or his parents were deprived of their parental rights or business capacity, and if he lives in Slovenia since his birth, he obtains Slovenian citizenship at the request of his guardian, and if the ministry responsible for family and social affairs gives consent to the child's admission to Slovenian citizenship. Every minor child who has reached the age of 14 must give a written consent to the acceptance of Slovenian citizenship. Regardless of the above bases, according to which a minor child has obtained Slovenian citizenship, the child always retains his original citizenship. Required documentation. The application must be submitted on the prescribed form and enclosed with a CV and evidence of compliance with the statutory conditions. The fulfillment of certain conditions is proved by the foreigner himself with the documents submitted, while the other conditions are determined by the administrative unit ex officiis. Check the list of necessary documents on the website of the Ministry of Public Administration, Instruction for Submission of Applications. Where to apply? A foreigner's application is submitted on a prescribed form to a competent administrative unit. Costs, fees, prices. €194.80. Based on the visa, a foreigner cannot work on the Slovenian territory. A foreigner who resides in the Republic of Slovenia with a visa, as a rule, cannot have his visa extended. Exceptionally, the validity and or duration of the residence issued on the basis of issued visas can be extended due to force majeure, humanitarian or serious personal reasons. The request for extension shall be submitted to the police department station, according to the place of residence of the foreigner before the expiry of the current visa. The request is decided upon the Ministry of Interior. By making the decision to extend the visa, a foreigner can stay on the Slovenian territory. In special cases, Slovenian citizenship can be acquired by a foreigner extraordinarily, if this is of benefit to the state for scientific, economic, cultural, national or similar reasons, provided that he actually lives in Slovenia for at least a year before submitting the application and has the status of a foreigner, while he also needs to fulfill certain additional conditions. Exceptionally, a foreigner can acquire Slovenian citizenship even if he does not fulfill the condition of 1 year uninterrupted residence in Slovenia and the condition of the regulated status of a foreigner, taking into account his exceptional contribution to development and to increase the international reputation or recognition of Slovenia. FDI advisors should check the resent data on relevant authorities' web pages or directly contact the responsible office before giving any information or starting the permit application procedure for the foreign investor.